everybody. Rusty Albertson, Director of Communications at St. Mark the Evangelist Catholic Church and School. Joined by Father Tim. Father Tim, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Seems like we haven't spoke for a long time.
I know it. It's right. It's good to be back.
We are speaking this week, obviously one of the biggest weeks, probably the biggest week, I guess, of the church.
Yeah, we are.
It's Holy Week.
We are entering Holy Week. Right now it's Friday of what is the date today? The 22nd, which means that tomorrow evening and Sunday is the beginning of Holy Week. So as we know, Holy Week starts with what we call Palm Sunday. Technically it's called Passion Sunday, but Palm Sunday Masses, which is one of the biggest and most important Masses of the year. It is the reading of the Passion, of course, and then that will take us through to Easter. So I figured we would go one day at a time and just sort of talk about the different things we do. So Palm Sunday, Passion Sunday, as I said, is, everybody knows it's when you come, you get your palms. We start Mass outside. The weather's looking nice tomorrow and Sunday, so we'll be doing that. We're going to start Mass outside on the west side of Schaefer Hall, the old front entrance of the church, to read the entrance gospel. This is the Hosanna in the highest, when they wave the palm branches as Jesus makes his triumphant entry into Jerusalem. But of course, the drama very quickly turns from triumph to tragedy as we then go into the Passion. Palm Sunday, just like the rest of the liturgical year, has an A, B, and C cycle. We're in year B, which means we get our patron St. Mark's account of the Passion this year. So we read Matthew, Mark, Luke every Palm Sunday in rotation. So we'll have Mark's this year. It's one of those where you'll have your worship aid that has the gospel narrative and the different parts in it that people get to participate as the chorus of the Passion narrative. It's a very powerful, very beautiful Mass, and that the color, of course, is red because of the death of Christ. So that is this weekend, Palm Sunday. That then takes us into the week. Now, really, Holy Week has, most of it comes at the Triduum, but there's other things that happen on Holy Week. In our diocese, and in fact in most dioceses that are pretty spread out, what we call the Chrism Mass will happen on Tuesday. Now, technically the Chrism Mass is supposed to happen on Holy Thursday morning. And if the priests were all able to get there and then get back to their parishes quickly and easily, we would do that. But since Indiana's, since we're pretty spread out, we do it on Tuesday. Everybody, all the priests of the Archdiocese and a representative from each parish, ours is Chris Risch, who will get our director of ministries, will get our oil, go to the cathedral. Anybody's invited, it's just sort of limited seating. Right. So if you get there not early enough, you might be standing in the back. But people are invited to the cathedral from all over the Archdiocese. The bishop comes. The big things at this Mass are he blesses the oils that are used throughout the year. The oil of the catechumen, the oil which is used for those who are going to enter the church, the oil of the infirmed for those who are who receive the anointing of the sick, and the sacred chrism, which is used in a lot of sacraments, baptism, confirmation, ordinations, things like that. So those oils are blessed by the bishop. The parishes then get their their share to take back and put in what's called the ambry, which is where they store the oils. Where's our ambry?
Ours is right behind the font.
That's right, right behind that wooden case.
Thank you for asking me a question. I knew the answer.
Yeah, that's true. I figured that was easy enough. So then we'll put ours in there. The other thing that happens at the Chrism Mass is all the priests renew their promises that are made at ordination. So because the Chrism Mass celebrates the foundation of the priesthood, which happened on Holy Thursday. That's why it's normally, or technically should be Holy Thursday if it can be. Then we all renew our priestly promises with the bishop, and then all the priests get together for a dinner that evening on Tuesday evening. It's actually hosted by Chuck and Donna Kern, our own parishioners at Bella Vista, for the entire Archdiocese. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, here's a fun fact. All these different days throughout Holy Week, Palm Sunday, Good Friday, Holy Thursday, they all have names. Wednesday also has its own name. Do you know the name of Wednesday?
Is it Spy Wednesday?
It is. It is Spy Wednesday, that's because Spy Wednesday means every year, the Wednesday of Holy Week, the Gospel is a tragic one. It's the beginning of Judas's decision to betray Christ, as he turns on Jesus, and it says then he was looking for, or in some translations, spying for an opportunity to turn him over. So in other words, he becomes an agent of the Sanhedrin, and that gospel is read every Wednesday before the Triduum. So Spy Wednesday will happen Wednesday. Then we get into the Triduum, which means the 3 days, the most sacred time of the year. beginning on Holy Thursday. Holy Thursday, our Mass here at St. Mark is 7 p.m. It is the Mass of the Lord's Supper, in which we celebrate the very first Mass, the gift of the Eucharist at the Last Supper, the gift of the priesthood, which he gave to us at the same time when he gave the apostles the Eucharist and told them, do this in memory of me. He then instituted his priesthood through them. And of course, the washing of the feet to show what that's all about, which is service to others. And that's the Mass where the Eucharist is then processed around the church. And this year, because we have this beautiful new space, we will process out of our church into the Parish Life Center and have the altar of repose in our new Parish Life Center gymnasium, which is much bigger than Schaefer Hall, so we can all fit and see and stay for the night watch until 10 p.m. for anybody that would like to represent the Garden of Gethsemane. So Thursday night, a very important night, and again, we have a Mass at 7 p.m. That takes us into Good Friday, which is the only day of the year that there really isn't a Mass said. No Eucharistic prayer is said. Crucified at noon, hung on the cross for 3 hours, and died at 3 p.m. So we start the service at 3 p.m. It is the adoration of the cross service is not really a Mass in the sense that it's a continuation of Holy Thursday, and it leads into the Easter Vigil. So it really has no beginning or end. It starts in silence with the entrance procession. It ends in silence because it's like the middle part.
Is there communion during that?
Yes, it's all the hosts that are consecrated on Holy Thursday are saved overnight and distributed at that. It's also when the people have the chance to come and make a sign of reverence to the cross itself. The Passion is also read that day. As I said, Palm Sunday is A, B, and C, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Good Friday is always John's account of the Passion. So you read from John's account, which is probably the most famous. It has some of the most famous parts. And again, it's beautiful. It emphasizes things differently. So I encourage anyone who can at 3 p.m. to come that day for the adoration of the cross service. Then there's nothing else Good Friday. There's not stations that evening. Traditionally, it's a day of fasting and penance, which leads into Holy Saturday. Holy Saturday, there is no Mass during the day or in the morning as well. We wait until sundown to begin the Easter Vigil. Here at St. Mark, that'll be at 8:30 p.m. Again, weather permitting, we'll be outside in front of Schaefer Hall with the Easter fire, and that begins the most important Mass of the year. So the Easter fire and what's called the Lucinarium, where we take the flames and we process into the church to hear the beautiful Exultet chanted, which is the entire history of salvation. Then it goes into a long first part of the Mass, the Liturgy of the Word, with about 6 readings. Then the Gospel and Homily, and then we bring in our new Catholics. Mm-hmm. This year we have about 9 joining us of all different ages. So that's extremely exciting for the catechumens and candidates. They are brought into the church. We celebrate the Eucharist. The great Easter Alleluia returns. Those who join the church get their first communion after being baptized and confirmed. And then we've begun the Easter season. So that then takes us to Sunday. We have our normal Sunday schedule, 8:30, 10:30, 12:30. And then we begin the 50 days of Easter until Pentecost. So again, as a recap, the week's schedule begins Palm Sunday this weekend, which is the normal Mass schedule, just like any other weekend. And then it goes into the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, our daily Mass schedule is the same. And then Thursday and Friday, there's no morning Mass because Holy Thursday, we have a 7 p.m. Mass. Good Friday, we have a 3 p.m. service. And then on Holy Saturday, there's no 4:30 p.m. Mass, but rather the 8:30 p.m. Easter Vigil. So it's a great week, and I understand that people are busy, they're working, but whatever it is that you're able to come join us for, especially the Triduum, on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night, we very much encourage you to, and we hope you can make it.
And I think also so people know too, with our remodel, especially in Schaefer Hall, we now have overflow seating for more events and more Masses.
Much more comfortable with better chairs, much better sound.
Which evenings will we have the overflow? Will be?
We actually will have it set up for all of it.
Okay.
I don't think we typically wouldn't need it for. In the past, we haven't really used it except for Easter Sunday morning, so it'll be set up throughout. But honestly, for any of these Masses where we need the overflow, it will be.
And we encourage people not to sit in the narthex. It just kind of keeps the flow going.
Yeah, especially if there's a bunch that that helps with the flow. Plus, honestly, you see and hear better in there. And communion is brought in there for any of those things and stuff like that. So,
and you might have already mentioned too, is there receptions after something?
After the Easter Vigil night after the 8:30 p.m. Mass, there's a simple punch and cookies on Saturday night, which will be in Schaefer Hall, but the chairs will still be set up facing the TV. Mm-hmm. So you can come in there and to congratulate the new Catholics and grab a cookie because the time of fasting is over, because Lent is over. Lent officially ends. Really, it ends at the Triduum, but the Triduum, you continue your Lenten practices until the Easter Vigil, until after the Vigil Mass at that point. So,
and then for our Myanmar community, for those who don't know also, they're going to have an Easter celebration.
That's right. Their Mass at 12:30 p.m. on Easter Day will then be immediately followed in the Parish Life Center by
and all are welcome to that as well.
Yeah.
So,
great food and music, and it's a wonderful time.
Yeah. And then parish offices are closed Easter Monday?
Yes, Easter Monday, parish offices, that's April 1st. Parish offices are closed. If you come to any of these masses, you'll see our 3 seminarians are home from school, Kui Shing, Kai Tu, and Lucas La Rosa, so make sure to give them a hello and just to see how school's going. They're all at different points in their formation, but they'll be here for those big masses, and it's always exciting.
And finally, before we go, we want to thank all the parish staff, not me, of course, but everyone else who has a hand in this for the behind the scenes.
Everyone is doing an incredible amount. The worship aids to be printed, the coordinating RCIA, and all the new things, the music, all those things being coordinated. You'll also see what Rusty is doing. We have some work going on here at the parish. The drive between the dumpster and US 31 is being redone. The good news is they got all that old torn up concrete, which was basically just potholes, is all torn out and it's graveled. So we can drive over that and walk over that. Just watch your step if you park at O'Reilly's to cross that street. There's a bit of a dip. But that should be asphalted in April when they reopen the asphalt.
First week of April or so.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in today. What a great week we've got coming up. I know also, I believe school is dismissed on Good Friday.
At 1 p.m.
At 1 p.m. So the children can attend.
And the parking lots are free for the 3 p.m. service, so you don't have to worry about that. The school also will have a reading of the Passion, I believe, on Friday morning.
Right.
But the kids are out at 1 p.m. And we encourage them to come at 3 as well if they're able to.
Very good. I'd also like to give a little bit of a shout out to being the building and grounds director to our cleaning crew who does such a great job keeping things clean. Craig Chestnut, BDC Landscaping, did all the mulch around the school and the church facility. Looks great, so we want to thank everybody for that. So we hope that you can come out and join us for all or part of Holy Week, and we hope you have a great Holy Week. God bless everybody.
God bless.